In the valley of Elah, the Philistines gathered for war.
Across the valley, Israel's army took its stand. Only a dry riverbed separated two nations on the brink of battle. Fear moved quietly through the Israelite ranks. Night fell, and both camps waited for what morning would bring. At dawn, a champion stepped from the Philistine line, Goliath of Gath, over 9 feet tall. "Choose a man and let him fight me," he roared across the valley. Every soldier in Israel trembled and drew back in fear. King Saul watched from his tent, unable to answer the challenge. For 40 days, morning and evening, Goliath repeated his taunt, and no one came.
Far from the battlefield, a young shepherd named David tended his father's sheep. His father Jesse sent him to the camp with bread and cheese for his brothers.
Go check on your brothers. Take this with you.
I will, Father.
As David spoke with his brothers, Goliath's voice thundered across the valley again. He watched the giant defy the armies of the living God, and watched Israel's soldiers flee in fear. "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine," David asked, "that he should defy the armies of the living God?" His brother Eliab burned with anger and accused him of coming only to watch the battle. David did not back down. He asked the same question to another nearby. Word of David's words reached King Saul, and David was brought before him. "Let no one lose heart," David said. "I will go and fight this Philistine." Saul doubted him. David was only a boy, and Goliath a warrior since his youth. David spoke of the lion and the bear he had killed defending his father's flock, trusting the same God would deliver him now. Saul relented and dressed David in his own armor and bronze helmet. David took a few steps, but the unfamiliar weight slowed him. "I cannot go in these," David said, "I am not used to them." He took the armor off. He left the tent as he came, in his shepherd's tunic, staff in hand. Saul allowed him to go, uncertain but out of options. Soldiers stared in disbelief as the boy walked past them toward the field. On his way, David stopped at a stream running through the valley. He knelt and chose 5 smooth stones from the water. He placed them in his shepherd's bag, sling ready at his side.
His eyes fixed on the distant giant, but his hands stayed steady. With staff and sling, David walked toward the battle line. David stepped onto the open valley floor as both armies watched in silence. Goliath came forward, his shield-bearer walking ahead of him. Seeing only a boy, Goliath mocked him and cursed him by his gods. "You come with sword and spear," David answered, "but I come in the name of the Lord of hosts." Enraged, Goliath quickened his pace to meet him. David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet the Philistine. He reached into his bag and placed a stone in his sling. He swung it swiftly, the sling cutting circles through the air. The stone flew straight toward Goliath's forehead. It struck him, and the giant staggered, stunned. Goliath fell down to the ground, the earth shaking beneath him. David ran to him, drew the giant's own sword from its sheath. With it, he finished what the stone had begun, and the giant of Gath was no more. Seeing their champion fallen, the Philistines turned and fled in terror. The army of Israel rose with a shout and pursued them, and the name of the Lord was proclaimed victorious that day. The Israelites and the men of Judah gave a loud shout and charged after the fleeing Philistines. They pursued the Philistines all the way to the entrances of Gath and Ekron, striking many of them down.